do an intro. Hi, welcome to Paragi City Zoo. I'm here with Wyatt this time. Say hello, Wyatt.
Hey guys.
Thank
to
you
be
for joining me. No particular reason for having Wyatt on today. I just don't like talking to myself, so I reached out to him and asked him to join me, and here he is. You have actually built something in this park earlier, but we're not going to look at that right now. Maybe in a later episode. We're going to look at the Southeast Asia pack, a little late, but who cares? And then we're going to look at the new Australia area, and we're going to walk through the tropical house that I've made. So we're here at the entrance again. Haven't changed really anything. Looked the same when you were here.
Yeah.
I love
Did
the
you
new
put in?
gadget cam. Sorry?
Oh yeah. Did you put in the new billboards?
Oh yeah, I did, and they're not working for some reason.
That's alright.
Have you seen this bug? Actually, let's talk about
Oh
this.
yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
have, it's in there, and it's in the files.
Yeah.
And when I do refresh, nothing works.
Yeah.
And it's just black.
That's happened for me too.
Yeah, all right, weird. Oh well.
Ever.
Um, so I'm just gonna, yeah, nothing's changed here. We're gonna look at the map again, like I did last episode. So last episode, what did we do? Yeah, we walked over here in the Asian area. And this map is actually outdated right now because when you were in the park, this was the Australian area, if you remember, with the kangaroos and the koalas, dingoes, and the cassowary. And I had a large house for the hippos. This is all gone.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like the Nile Pavilion?
Yeah.
Oh.
I really liked how it turned out, but it didn't fit into the park, I think.
I hope you saved it.
I did. I saved it. I have it as a blueprint, so I might use it sometimes later. But it was just like a humongous glass house that I didn't really fit in with the rest of the park, I thought. So we'll see. And I've done some research, and apparently hippos don't do well in cold weathers like Northern Europe, where I'm loosely basing this park. There is actually a hippo habitat in Copenhagen, but I don't know. So
Yeah.
we're right here at the entrance. We're gonna walk down here to the old Australian area that is now the Southeast Asian area, and then over here is the new Australian area, and then we're gonna walk through this tropical house.
Oh, okay.
And right, we're gonna walk down here past the Asian area. We're gonna walk past the Asian area to go to the Asian area. Anyway, I'm so happy with this like tunnel or overpass. Like this is my favorite part of the zoo. It's so dumb, but
I think it looks great.
right? Yeah, I'm so proud of this. I don't know why. Oh well. So earlier to the right here was the Australian area.
Okay. When I saw the screenshots on Bronation of the Southeast Asian exhibits, I thought you were adding those to the Asia Trail, but this is like a whole new area.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
yeah. Yeah. I probably should have done that. But it's in such a cramped space. I couldn't really fit them in. So now I have like 3 or 4 Asian areas in this park, like the Indian area, the East Asian area, the Southeast Asian area. But whatever. Let's not think about it. So this is not actually based on anything special. I just kind of sketched this up on a notepad when we started to realize that Southeast Asia was going to be the next DLC. I don't know. What do you think about the East Asian pack? Like, I enjoy that they made an animal pack, but it didn't really have the staying power that the earlier packs with scenery had. Like
So
placed.
yeah.
Sorry?
So my thing about pack is like, we definitely needed more animals to beef up the roster,
Yeah.
but I think this is kind of like an unpopular take that like I think Southeast Asia has such like a distinct architecture and just overall style that I
Right.
feel like it was kind of done a disservice by just only showing off the animals and then leaving everybody kind of out to dry in regards to like plant life and architecture,
Yeah,
which South
yeah. No,
well,
I agree, and I, like a lot of people said we already have an Asian pack, and like yeah, sure, but we have China and
oh,
Japanese
yeah,
architecture. We don't really have Indonesian or Malayan or stuff like that. But I don't know. I made it work. But my biggest concern is that like was it was fun for 2 days. Like I placed the animals, and then I was like, all right, let's get the new DLC. Like
yeah.
just wait 3 months and oh well.
Mhm.
With this South America pack and the Australia pack, like I built for weeks with just using pieces from that
Yeah.
pack. But here,
Mhm.
I've just used the old pieces, which are fine. I don't think we really need more scenery pieces, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
always
I just think it
potential.
would have been a cool opportunity. I'm not like super like upset about it.
Yeah, no, it, it's middle of the road. I'm not upset, but eh,
It could have been more.
could have been more. Could have been less too, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So first I built this Orangutan Island. I'm pretty sure this wouldn't work IRL, especially with these ropes going over to their night house. And this is the most they've ever used climbing structures. You
Of
know,
course.
yeah, they float
Yeah.
around this habitat a lot. Um, Jesus is laggy. Like, fine, I didn't do them a service by using all these abstract climbing structures, but
It looks really good though.
yeah, yeah, it looks good. Doesn't work at all, but
I
um,
definitely like this compared to some of your other climbing structures, just because like it's a lot more like beam heavy,
mm,
whereas the others had like a lot of like they were much more natural, and
yeah.
I'm I'm much more like partial to like things that look man made.
Hmm.
That's definitely just me.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. This look a lot more expensive and modern, I think. The earlier I've done look a little more thrown together with just like some dead
Yeah,
trees and branches, which is also a look
yeah,
that I was striving for, but this look like it was built in the last couple of years,
yeah.
and I'm like very happy. Um, so yeah, my idea is that they would spend their day over here,
Mhm.
and they have like this climbing bridge over to their night house, and
Yeah.
with some anti-climbing stuff. Um,
Mhm.
it works kind of in game. They spend all of their time on the island,
Of
um,
course.
and I've made so they can't climb over here because then they'll just climb all over the house.
Yeah.
Um, and
What I've
when,
noticed,
sorry, yeah,
um, what, what I've noticed with climbing structures that you usually have to give the animals like a reason to do it. Like you have to
yeah,
put like water
yeah,
on one side.
yeah. So I did in an earlier park or other habitats in the zoo. I like made the entrance on one island and the climbing
Oh,
structures on the other island, and they would climb between those islands. But here
mhm,
I didn't have the real estate to do that, so
yeah.
oh yeah, that's what happens when they're in the house.
Oh, boy. That's what you get for making like structures out of planks and
Yeah,
stuff.
I hate that they
They'll just
climb through the walls.
crawl all over it.
Let's just not look at that. And yeah, my when I first built this, it was before they actually announced DLC. So I was just
Mhm.
hoping we'd get some more monkeys, like a Siamang or a
Yeah.
gibbon. I know we got that for proboscis. How do you pronounce that
Yeah.
in English?
I either say proboscis or proboscis.
Proboscis. Right. I know we got that, but it's not realistic to have that in North European Zoo for several
Apparently
reasons.
not.
So we're just gonna pretend that there are like Siamangs
Yeah.
screaming in here.
I think this would definitely be much better suited for gibbons, just because like with like the bridge into the night house, it's definitely like a bit small for orangutans. They could definitely
Yeah,
just hop down, but
yeah,
it works.
yeah, for sure. I when I this goes for all my habitats. Like I usually go for what looks good first over what's actually realistic. Like I want to be 80% realistic.
Yeah.
But if it's not 100%, I'm fine with it. Like uh, a lot of my habitats are like that,
Mm.
but that's fine.
It's still more realistic than like the majority of like players,
Yeah,
your style.
yeah, I think so. And what I really try to emulate is like the really cheap stuff. Um, oh yeah, don't look at that orangutan. Jeez. But and that's I think that's a big difference between like American zoos and your style and European
Mm.
zoos and my style is that a lot of it is very cheap looking. Like it's
Oh yeah.
the branches or the dead trees that they have lying around that they use for habitats. And I don't mean that's a bad thing. It usually looks pretty cool and
Yeah.
naturalistic. But looking at American zoos like Cincinnati or San Diego, they have a lot more theming in their habitats, um, which you usually nail in your zoos.
Thank you.
Uh, so
And before we look at the sun bears, I wanted to ask, how long did the custom fencing take on this bridge?
it doesn't take as as long as it looks. Like I only build whoops, like one part of the fence, and then I just copy it
Mm.
around. So I
Okay.
usually do this like I study from home right now during COVID.
Mm.
So I just put on a lecture on my other screen and I just go about like fencing or putting down eelgrass like you'll see in later habitats
Yeah.
and like listen with one ear on the lecture and I I do this. It's pretty nice. And I do it I don't do everything at once. It would maybe take 40 minutes to do it in one sitting.
Oh, wow.
I do it in chunks. I've like I build up to here, and then I do the orangutan habitat, and then I build up to here, and I do this house, and then I build up to here. I do the sun bears, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not even finished over here. But I think I don't know. I'm very happy about my custom fences. It brings such a lot of realism.
You're definitely like the master of that kind of detail.
Thank you. What a boring thing to be the master of, but I'll take it.
I think being the master of like boringness is definitely a good thing in this game because zoos are
Yeah,
usually like not theme parks. You
yeah.
wanna pull off that jank.
Yeah, it's true. I always say that. Like the boring, janky stuff is always the most um,
Yeah.
the hardest to pull off.
Mm.
I think it was like Jonty said that when he was still in Plan Zoo, like not overdoing it with scenery and stuff often looks a lot
Mhm.
kind of boring,
Yeah,
but making the boring look good, that's the hardest part in both Planco and Planet Zoo. And it's
absolutely.
so true. And I think I spend more time making stuff look boring than people do making stuff look great. But yeah, here are the sun bears. And like I said, like just putting up every dead tree they have, just put them in a huge
Yeah.
pile. Um, I couldn't find much reference of sun bear habitats in Europe at all, actually. I found one in Edinburgh, I think, but other than that, I just looked at like American.
Mhm.
I can't remember any names right now, but yeah, it's pretty boring, as it should be. The sunbears are so small. I had no idea they were so small. Because like
They're
I
like
built, yeah,
yeah, they're like this. They're like probably. I think they might actually be the smallest bear species, but like you
yeah,
couldn't tell from the pictures.
no, yeah, because I built this before the DLC was released, so I had seen some
Mm.
pictures, but I had no idea they were so small. So now I'm thinking this
Yeah.
habitat is a bit big for two bears, but
Mhm.
I don't know. That might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, they're, they're definitely not complaining.
Nah, exactly. And I'm so happy that they used this little cave over here. I built
Mhm.
this, and when I thought the bear was a lot bigger, so I was like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
they're not gonna use it, but it looks good. The first thing they did was run in here and just sit here. Especially when I put down the rain, like run in here and
Mhm.
sit here. That's very cute.
That's cute.
All right, let's move on. I haven't done any backstage stuff.
Mm.
Um, don't think I will. You really need to be in the mood to do backstage stuff.
Totally. Like for my Southeast Asia series that I'm doing on my channel, like
Yeah,
I haven't done any backstage stuff yet.
yeah, I saw. I don't think I've seen the latest episode, but the episode where you showed off the proboscis monkey and like the climbing structure between them
Mhm.
and the jank, like how they janked out. Like
Oh yeah.
you walk through it like a beautiful path, and then you just look right, like, yeah, here's my backstage area. It's not done. Don't look at it. Yeah, let's keep going. That's me right now, but I've at least put up some like fences so you can't see into it. Oh,
Mm.
and
Oh.
here is the orangutan. Jesus Christ.
He's gonna join us on our tour.
Yeah, nice. Let's have some company while we walk into like the forest area of the Southeast Asia area. Nice. All right. So what's what's the name of the cat in the
Uh,
clouded leopard? Clouded leopard. This is the clouded
hold on.
leopard. Um, yeah. So once again, I built this habitat before the DLC actually came out. Um, I was inspired by Remnant's fishing cat habitat, I think it is.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Um, and actually your habitat that you made for Rubel, the lion habitat. I loved
Oh yeah.
the climbing like logs you
Oh
put in.
yeah.
I have used them in a lot of habitats.
Mm.
Like when I
I've
saw you
seen.
using the white Australia log with the far,
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, this is
Ever
a game changer.
ever since that video came out, I've seen so many people
Yeah,
use that, and
just
I'm definitely happy.
it's such a good idea. When I saw it, I was like, oh, holy shit! Like, why haven't I done that? Anyway, in here is only one cat because I think they live mostly solitary, especially since it's a pretty small habitat. I wanted it not to be uh, too big. You barely ever see it because
Mhm.
it's always in the shrubbery, which probably kind of realistic. Um, but yeah, it is in there. It never uses the climbing structures, obviously, but
Of course not. This is just like being at a real zoo because like you spend like most of your time like looking for the animals, and it's
yeah,
so exciting when they pop out.
yeah, and it's just gonna walk by and it's just gonna walk back into the
Yep,
bushes. Yep,
that's all you get.
all I got. Well, that's more than I thought we would get. I'm really happy with this little hut. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty janky.
Yeah.
It was a pain. Like you see, all this is made by with wooden boards. It's a pain having the cat not climb out of them
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna say.
because it's glitched through the glass and climbed all over the roof. But I got it to work eventually.
And
Yeah,
in like your references for this exhibit, did you manage to find exhibits that were like open topped like this?
no, I didn't. But I tried using the bunting rope to do a netting, but it just didn't work out. So I said, "Fuck it," I didn't do it. Like it looks really good when you pull it off, but you kind of need to have a square habitat for it to work. Only like her okay, only like Haribo or Crocs I've seen it use it
Oh yeah,
pretty well, but I don't have the patience for that. I have the
me
patience
neither.
for custom fencing, but not netting.
We all have like our very specific things that we're patient
Yeah,
for, and
it's
nothing else.
and like I've shown on Bro Nation, I recently found the eelgrass, and
Mhm.
holy shit, it's a game changer. Like,
Yeah.
why haven't anybody told me about the eelgrass? I'm fighting the urge to redo like almost every habitat with the
Mm.
eelgrass, but like I said, I want to be finished with this park sometime in the near
It's so
future.
it's so frustrating when you find like a new like game changing thing like
Yeah,
the eelgrass. You're so late in the game that you
yeah.
you can't really change anything at this point.
Yeah, like I'm probably 70 or 80% done with this zoo, and I would like to redo maybe half of it, but I'm not gonna because I want to finish it sometime.
Yeah.
I always get this, like I'm 75% done, and my head is already in the next project. Like I'm sitting here planning the next project, and I have to stop myself. Like, nope, gotta finish this one first.
Yeah.
Oh well. Talking about netting with the bunting ropes, I did actually
Ooh,
use that for the binturong habitat. I
that
didn't
looks so
find
good.
any good reference for binturong habitats at all, so I made up my own. Um,
Yeah.
I hate and love how it just looks like a giant cage.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to go for like most arboreal creatures. Just
Yeah,
make a cage.
yeah. And I've actually heard this might be more of an American problem because you have large eagles. But I've heard like
Mhm.
at least for like red pandas and binturongs, the netting is often uh, more often used to like keep big birds of prey out of the habitat rather than keeping the arboreal animals in the habitat, which I found kind of funny.
Yeah. You almost never like take like predators into account when building enclosures, but
Right? Yeah.
in my area, we have mountain lions, and the
Hmm.
Los Angeles Zoo is constantly dealing with them, and like they sometimes grab like koalas and stuff
Oh
like that.
Jesus,
Yeah,
that's so sad.
I know.
Like we have, like I live pretty close to the city, so we don't really have any wildlife here, but we have wolves in the
Mhm.
forests, and I'm betting they could be a problem. Like
Yeah,
the
maybe.
closest zoo that I have to where I live is in the middle of a forest. Like it's
Mhm.
2 hour drive into the forest to come to get to the zoo. So I
Mhm.
imagine they would at least have to think about wolves. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know how wolves are because like
No.
with mountain lions, they're like nocturnal and stuff like that,
Mm.
and they could definitely sneak in easier than a pack of wolves could.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like mountain lions are solitary too.
Yeah.
Um, Talking about not solitary animals and canids in packs, here is the
Mhm.
dhole habitat. And here I had to stop myself from like putting eelgrass all over like I did in
Mhm.
Suton Tower. Um, but I'm pretty happy with it, how this turned out. I like how barren it is.
Yeah.
Once again, it looks cheap.
Mhm.
The dolls are also so much smaller than I thought they would be.
Mm. I feel like that's how it is with most like carnivorans. Like you expect them to be like all like wolf and lion size,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
besides those couple species, most of them are just like up to your knees. It's
yeah.
like, oh,
And wolves are huge.
yeah.
Like I saw a comparison picture with a golden retriever, I think, and a wolf, and it's like towering over the golden retriever. Insane. Yeah, so you can't really see into the binturongs, but they got some kids. Um, I thought I'd disabled animal birth, but with the South Asian update, I'm pretty sure like it disabled that setting for some
Mm.
reason because suddenly all of my females were pregnant and
Oh
all of them
boy.
are having babies. And the problem with sandbox mode is that you can't sell babies or pregnant females. So now I have just
Yeah.
like a lot of my habitats are just overflowing with animals. Like I think I have 8 tigers right now in the habitat because 4 of them are cubs.
Oh God.
Um, yeah, but yeah, this is
Yeah.
inspired by the dhole habitat in Kolmården, the zoo that is closest to me. Um, it's a lot smaller at the actual zoo, and I also think they only have like 2 dholes in there. But I thought
Mhm.
they were bigger, so I made once again a pretty big habitat since I made this before the DLC even dropped.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
So when I was the Dole exhibit for my Southeast Asia series, I was actually reading the European Association of Zoos and Aquariums
yeah,
husbandry manual, and it turns out they need a ton of room if you're going to
oh,
make like a whole pack.
good, because I have a whole pack in here since they started to have babies right away. I never have babies in the zoo because I just turn off breeding
Yeah.
and aging and all that, but somehow that got disabled. But
And
they're
then
pretty cute.
another thing they mentioned was that you'll probably want like anti-climbing apparatus
Yeah,
of some
yeah.
sort, all fencing, just because they're apparently super good escape
Well,
artists. Which
yeah.
I just realized we made you very aware of that when
Yep.
you were in Zoot and
I posted a pic of my work in Suton Tower, and it got ripped to shreds. No, I'm just kidding. It was fine. That's fine.
everyone came with
Sorry?
everyone came with their paragraphs.
Yeah. No, I love that. Like that's why I'm a part of Bro Nation and Suton Towers. That's
Yeah.
exactly the information I do want. But like I said,
Mhm.
I strive for like 80% realism, so I might go
Yeah.
in here and do some anti-climbing. But like
Mhm.
the reference I did use only have like these plank walls.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously they can't climb up vertical walls, so I might just have
Mhm.
to remove the the wiring and just have walls all around.
Mhm. I think they mentioned it was because like they were like jumping off like trees and rocks over the
Yeah,
fences.
like parkour,
So,
like they jump from the ground to the
exactly.
tree to the. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Um,
That'd be
but
interesting.
yeah, I'd probably put some anti-climbing like along the fence line here or something. But yeah, I love the dolls. They're probably my favorite from the new pack, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't actually I don't actually like them that much.
like, but yeah, but I've seen some like animal nerds really
Yeah,
not
I'm
liking
one of
them.
those.
Yeah, so I had like I know they look like red wild dogs, so that was what was I God I can't talk. That was what I was expecting, and that's what I got.
Mm.
If you really wanted like realism, I imagine it's not 100% correct,
Yeah.
but I never get closer than this looking at them, so it's fine.
Yeah, me neither. Like, that's something I pointed out when everyone was like ragging on the Malayan tapir. It's just like, well,
Hmm.
I'm never really gonna get like a close look at them. I'm
Yeah,
always gonna be like watching them from a distance. So I think they get the job done.
I know it's blasphemy, but I couldn't care less about the Malayan tapir. Like,
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
if I saw a real Baird's tapir and a Malayan tapir besides each other IRL, I would just say it was a
Yeah.
reskin anyway. So, oh well. I actually haven't put in the tapirs because once again, I don't think they would do very well in cold weather. One
Mm,
thing I did learn when I was in Kolmar this summer was that like because they have it's in the middle of the forest, like in Sweden, they get pretty cold winters. Um, but they have lions, they have tigers, and they said like yeah, because at least mammals with fur that live
mm,
in warm areas do fine in cold weather.
yeah,
So like a lion is fine during winter in Sweden, which is so weird. Uh,
yeah,
but animals that live in cold areas, like polar bears, don't do well in warm areas.
yeah. It's like a weird, it's like a weird balance because like animals that are like adapted for like hot climates like can tolerate cold for some reason, but then ones that are polar for some reason can't handle heat.
Yeah,
Which I guess makes sense because like they all have like fat and blubber and like woolly fur and stuff like
yeah, yeah. But my point being that like mammals without fur, so hippos and tapirs to an extent, don't do well in cold weather because they
that.
don't have that isolation like a lion or a dove have. So I haven't put
Mm-hmm.
in any of the proboscis monkey, haven't put in the babirusa, haven't put in the lion tapir. I would love to use them, um, because this just turned out, this turned into Southeast Asian predators. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm fine with that. Maybe in my next project, whatever that will be.
Mm.
Um, but that is the Southeast Asian area. I'm apart from the orangutans always climbing up on the house. I'm really happy with this how this turned out. It's not
And I think
100% done yet, and it still needs to put in some signs and benches and stuff. But that's for another day.
yeah.
So like I said, this used to be the Australian area, and you've actually seen the old Australian area.
Yeah.
Um, I it was fine. I really built it very quickly when the Australia pack came out, and now looking
Mhm.
back at it, it just didn't hold up. So I just ripped it out. Um, oh well. Here I
Well,
have an overlook over the Southeast Asian, and really happy with this like view.
well, that looks super good.
Yeah, this was the first picture I had in my head. I wanted
Mhm.
more water. Yeah, really happy with how this turned out.
Me too.
Good. Um, so I did make a new uh, Australia area over here. I've
Oh
only used the
yeah.
koalas and kangaroos this time for the same reason as not putting in the like cassowaries wouldn't work in Sweden at all, and
Mm.
the dingoes are a bit too similar to the does, so I'm just not gonna use them, I think.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't think koalas would do well in cold weather, but they're one of my favorite animals, so I'm just gonna keep them in.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to make that compromise.
Yeah, or just make an interior, which I hate
Mm.
doing.
Like in
But
my area, they probably wouldn't have proboscis monkeys, not because they couldn't handle it, just because they've never been in an American zoo. But I just
yeah,
really wanted to have them, so
yeah, like I said, you have to do some compromises. Um,
yeah,
it would be fun, like challenge yourself and do it 100% realistic, but I think that would get pretty stale fast, honestly.
yeah, definitely.
So here are the kangaroos, and these would probably be wallabies and not kangaroos, because the red
Mm.
kangaroos are huge, um, especially the male is gigantic. They're so scary.
Yeah.
Um, this koala habitat was inspired by Just Goran's red panda habitat that he did in his most recent video, I think.
This looks freaking amazing, dude.
Yeah, the, the koalas never use it, so
Of course,
it's either it look good or they use it, and I'm gonna go with looks good any day of the week.
the better the climbing structure looks, the less the animals
It's
use
so
it.
true. It's so true. Like that's the mantra of this game.
Yeah, Planet Zoo hates fun.
Yeah, I remember seeing the first trailer for the for Planet Zoo, and I saw the climbing
Mm.
structures, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a game. This is a
Yeah,
game changer. Because I played a lot of Zoo Tycoon before, and I always was so bored with the monkeys walking around the floor.
yeah.
And now look at me. Oh well, shouldn't complain too much. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, like I said, this is probably Wallabies, which takes me into mods. I
Hmm.
really love how like there's coming out a ton of mods right now. I haven't seen a Wallaby yet, but it will probably show up. And
Yeah.
seeing all these mods pop up is just making me want to rebuild huge parts of my zoos.
Mm.
How do you feel about mods? Do you think you'll use them? Have you used them?
So, I don't know if you watched or I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned in one of my videos that I can't use mods because I
Right,
run
right.
on
Yeah,
GeForce Now
yeah.
and
That
it
sucks.
doesn't let me import anything from the internet.
Mm.
So until I get a computer, I'll just have to enjoy them from a distance.
Oh yeah, that sucks. I haven't actually installed any mods yet. I keep looking at the Nexus almost every day, especially now that they've
Mm.
come out like 3 or 4 different penguins that I want to use. But
Yeah.
I think I've put a rule to that I won't use any mods in this particular park. Like my next project will use whatever I feel like. But
Yeah.
we'll see how long that lasts.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, this Australian area, probably one of the newer builds in the zoo. Um, I used these the aquatic wooden planks and wanted it to look pretty, like not worn out yet.
Mhm.
And yeah, pretty happy with this too. I'm pretty happy with
I
all of
really,
this.
I really love that fence for the kangaroos with the wooden planks in the back.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
They could 100% jump over the wire fence in the front.
Mhm.
But I'm just imagining it's wallabies and they can't jump as high. And yeah, over there is the area that you worked on earlier,
Oh
I think
yeah.
like 2, 3 months ago right now.
Yeah.
We're not gonna look at that, but it's so good. Jesus Christ. I literally
Thank you.
loaded up when you were done, I loaded up the park and I just looked around
Mm.
it like for like half an hour. And I was like, do I need to rebuild my entire park to look this good, or should I just go with it? and and I was like, nah, all right, yep, this is perfect, but I'm not gonna try and ape this. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, so now we're gonna look at the tropical house, and that's this giant house in the back. It's been done for like half a year now, I think. I go in and tweak it all the time, but now it's all done, I think. Um,
Nice.
this is also inspired by the Copenhagen tropical house. So my idea is that this brick building would be the oldest part of the tropical house that was built like in the 50s or 60s or something.
Mm.
And then they added this new modern area or modern part of it. Um, but here I have actually built an interior, so we're gonna check
Oh,
that out. Um, was that you plinging or was that me?
that was that was a reminder that said record with Lion.
Oh, all right. Well,
Here we are.
you remembered. So the Amazon adventure. This is a giant build, and I did want to make an interior. I never do interiors, like I've told you earlier.
Yeah.
Um, but since this is um, such a cold climate,
Mm.
barely any jungle animals can live outside. So I wanted to make a large jungle house. Um, and yeah, I haven't used anything other than the South American animals, so it's the Amazon house. I'm really happy with this plaza.
Oh yeah, me too.
I want to put like a mural here or something, but I don't have the patience to do that, so we'll see. Anyway, um, let's kill the illusion. So this is the interior.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
I'm
what I
just
was
kidding.
asking if you had done.
I haven't done this part, and I will never do that. But let's just cut that out of the video. And here is the beginning. Ta-da! In here would be free flying birds, maybe even monkeys. Um, this would be, like I said, the old part of the tropical house. So just this large open area with drax, birds,
I have
drax, whatever.
I have no.
Yeah,
I've heard
he's
people say
amazing.
both. Yeah.
His if we ever get modded scenery, which I think we are getting,
Mhm.
I can see this changing. But until then, these are amazing. Like holy crap! I showed this to my wife, and she looked at the bird and said, "Why isn't it moving?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's spilled out of gutters." What? Yeah, it's spilled out of small pieces. Why? Like, yeah, we don't have any birds in this game, but it's a zoo game. Yeah, I know.
You have to explain Planet Zoo lore to people.
Yeah, I thought you were building a zoo. Yes, honey, I am, but there are no birds. um, anyway, in here would be like small monkeys, I think. I haven't gone to the extreme lengths that you do and put actual species in these. It's just generic small monkey in here.
Mm.
Let's change the sun actually so I can see. Whoa. And like I said, this is the old part, so I wanted this to look kind of like outdated and run down. I'm sure even small monkeys wouldn't be very happy in these glass boxes. Um,
I
but
feel
up
like
into
I feel like they do okay, but then like a modern zoo would definitely like
yeah,
make it bigger.
yeah, I think so. once again inspired by Copenhagen, and their monkey house is pretty sad looking. Like I don't have I very rarely feel sorry for the animals, which is horrible, I know. But when I went into their monkey house or ape house, it was pretty sad state of affairs, honestly. Like it looked
Mm.
really outdated. I think it was built in the 30s, and it doesn't look updated since. Um,
Oh,
which is weird because it's a very well-off zoo. Like they built, don't know if you're familiar, but they have like a state-of-the-art elephant house, state-of-the-art like architecture piece for their pandas. But their monkey house is really sad.
mm.
But I kind of wanted to mirror that here, not as sad as uh, the Copenhagen house, but
Yeah. I
yeah,
think making parts of your zoo like deliberately outdated in Planet Zoo, that is, I think definitely helps bring
yeah,
like a lot of life to
yeah.
the.
Because like I've always said, no zoo is perfect. Like maybe
Yeah,
Animal Kingdom or San Diego, but even like Cincinnati have outdated parts that they're working to
yeah,
fix, but they're still there. There's always
yeah.
the money factor.
San Diego Zoo is definitely not perfect either. They still have whole exhibit areas that are from like the 30s and 40s, like
Mm,
bear grottos and stuff like
yeah,
that. So
yeah, yeah. I can imagine.
mhm.
Once again, birds. I think they're macaws, right? Your
Yeah, those
bird
are
animal.
scarlet macaws, I think,
Yeah,
and blue and yellow.
freaking gorgeous. Like I
Yeah,
don't know how he has the patience to make all this, but they bring so much to this like empty areas.
totally.
And in here, I actually have a sloth too. It's that I helped him make, to be honest. Well, I helped him do
Oh,
some
cool.
some recolors, but that's it. He made all the modeling.
Mm.
But yeah, they move about as much as a real sloth would do.
No need to like model like a realistic one.
Exactly. Um, Here I have a cage for an ocelot.
Mm.
It's probably once again pretty sad for an ocelot, but eh, really liked how it turned out.
Yeah,
And that
I just
is
want to
the sorry.
I just call attention to the gutters, like on all of the beams and stuff.
Yes. Um,
Absolutely
that was once again
nuts.
something I did while looking at the lecture. So my idea is that this would sprinkle like mist all around the
Um,
house, so it would be really humid in here.
that is such a cool detail.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And I don't know why I went so hard into detailing this tropical house, and the modern area is even more detailed. But it was a lot of
Mm.
fun just like working within the constraints of this because I built the shell or the building first, and I had to do
Mhm.
the interior second. And this
Mhm.
is probably the only interior I'm gonna do in this zoo, but I'm really happy with how it turned out.
I really ought to try listening to lectures so I can get to this level of detail.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of brainless work. Like I got the idea, I made it once, and then I just copied it around. So it
Yeah.
it looks great, but it's like the custom railings. It's 5 seconds of an idea, and then just 40 minutes of copying it around.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go into the modern area that's through this door. And we're gonna cut out this part.
All right.
And we're in the modern area.
Oh,
And I'm
so
so happy with this area. Like if I can pat myself on the back, this is probably my favorite part of the zoo right now. Um,
yeah, I might have to agree. Like the like ventilation and like the catwalk
yeah,
and it's so good.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is easily the most like well done and realistic greenhouse and or tropical house I've seen so far.
Thank you. Weiser has done a really good tropical house that I think he has put up on the workshop. And I took a lot of inspiration from that actually, because this is the third iteration, I think. I actually had a completed tropical house that looked nothing like this, and I looked at Weiser's Park. I'm like, nope, I gotta redo this.
Yeah, Wizards is also amazing.
Yeah, he also has the patience to do like insane stuff.
Oh yeah.
But this has been updated like I think 2 or 3 times, and I think I started building it even before the the South American pack came out. So my original was only a tropical house, not an Amazon house. So I had all kinds of jungle animals. But right now it's just South American animals. No, that's not right. I rebuilt it when the aquatic pack came out because the
Oh yeah.
giant
You
river
got the
otter and the caiman are from South America. Um, so yeah, I think it was Drac who helped me out with some references here too. It was a tropical house in Washington D.C. I think, if you're familiar.
Oh, I think that might have been me.
Oh yeah, it might have been you.
Remember on Donation, I sent you those pics from the Central Park Zoo.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That was you. Yeah, it had like these catwalks up in the air, like going through the palm trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here I give credit to Drac, and it was you. Sorry.
Sorry.
Um, I don't know why I put this like netting in the roof, in the ceiling, sorry. But without it, it just looked so barren. So I wanted to like put a net with just greenery out there.
It's
I don't know
definitely
why.
something like the zoo would attempt just to make things more like appealing.
Yeah, and I imagine it would be a lot of echoes in here, so maybe it will like sand dampening too or something. I don't know. I love the waterfall.
Yeah.
It's so big though. It glitches out of the wall on the outside. These are so deep. But,
Oh yeah.
so in here I have the caiman. Um, they're so small.
Oh yeah.
Once again, I was blown away with how small they were. I was picturing like crocodiles, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
I might use is Weiser? Yeah, Weiser did a mod with another caiman that was a lot bigger.
Yeah, because species like the spectacled caiman and the I think it's the black caiman, those
Yeah,
get to like crocodile size, but these guys are like 5 feet long.
yeah. And Weiser did a spectacle caiman, I think. Never heard of it before, but it's a decent size bigger than this.
Mm-hmm.
And these are one of the best looking animals in the game, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but Weiser really nailed it with this mod too. But I'm not gonna use any mods, I think. And yeah, on the other side of the river we have the giant river otter, which are also some of the best animals in the game, I think. They have
Yeah,
this huge pool, but
mm,
they very rarely use it for some reason.
oh, yeah. But they definitely knocked it out of the park with the
Yeah,
aquatic park.
yeah. I think the aquatic pack is still my favorite, both scenery and animal.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like I was gonna disagree, but then I remember the rocks.
Yeah, the faux rocks. Jesus, they're so good.
Now they're the only ones I use.
Yeah, I try to use the like the naturalistic rock in habitats because at least
Mm-hmm.
in Kolmorden, where I base a lot of my habitats from, they use like the mountain, like the foundation. What do you call it? The rock foundation under the ground to do a lot of with rock work.
Mm.
Once again, fishes. I think Drac. If it's not
Yeah,
Drac, I'm sorry, and I'll put the correct name in the description. But I think it's Drac.
yeah. I think the that Arapaima is from Drax Aquatic Pack.
Yeah. These pools or aquariums are way too small for at least this big fish. Um, but yeah, whatever. It works.
Yeah.
And we're actually gonna go back here because this was the the riverbank or riverbank, whatever. And we're gonna go up into the canopy. So this is the area that was inspired by the reference photos you sent me a couple of months back. I wanted it to feel like you're walking through the treetops, basically.
Hmm.
And I just like been spamming out tropical plants. I never get to use the tropical plants since I'm building in such a
Yeah.
boreal area.
Hmm.
But they're so lush and I really love them.
Yeah.
And here we have the otters from above in their little land area that they spend all their time in for some reason. I have 4 otters in here. Not sure if that's too many, maybe, but
Yeah. I have no idea.
yeah,
They seem pretty social. Like
yeah,
the one
yeah.
exhibit at the LA Zoo, they have giant otters in an Amazon section. There's definitely like at least four, so
Hmm.
they seem pretty social.
Is LA Zoo the closest one for you? Or
Yeah, that's the one closest to me.
yeah, I was there when I was like 7 at the LA Zoo.
Mm.
Haven't been there since, so I can't say I remember anything. Um, but I've been there, and I bet you haven't been to Kolmården, so I win.
Definitely not.
So here are the capuchins. I haven't put any capuchins in because they can escape through the glass ceiling
Mm.
for some reason, even though nothing in the ceiling is climbable. Um,
They probably just jump on the roof.
yeah,
It's annoying.
don't love that. But in here would be like a pack of capuchins or something. Um, and here at the end of the canopy we have a jaguar. Oh jeez,
Oh,
come on,
oh, hey there.
that's not a jaguar. Oh man, let's
They have
not
two
look at that.
escapees.
Let's look at the jaguar. Let's actually change the lighting here. So this is just the indoor area of the jaguar. Um, it has an outer area that we'll look at later. But oh man, the
Oh,
Black Panther is so gorgeous.
yeah.
It took me,
How many how many
uh,
tries did that take you to get one in Sandbox?
I think I breathed. This was before the change. Like now, and now I think it happens more often. But I think I breeded 1,500 jaguars to get one. So I left the computer running, and when I came back, I had 2. So I actually so it went on for like 4 or 5 hours, I think, and I didn't get any. I didn't get any, and I went away for like 3 hours, and I had lunch or whatever, and I came back, and there was like 1,500 jaguars, and in the middle of it was like 2 cubs. Like yes, all right.
Yeah, I
But
really love how the wooden deck like bleeds into the exhibit.
yeah, yeah. Um, where did I draw inspiration from? I think it was Masked Bandit might have said something about like the visitor area bleeding into the habitat, and it
Mm.
feels like the glass isn't here.
Oh yeah,
So that what what I wanted to do.
definitely
Spe-
helps.
yeah, and I love these little bamboo huts. Really janky, right? No anteater, no. So I did put in this anteater in the like the space I had left.
Mhm.
Um, Pretty small habitat, I think, for anteaters. But before they had a baby, like everyone else, I think 2 would do fine in here.
Probably.
Yeah,
I've not done any research on
no.
anteaters, but
Like I wish I had the patience to do the research of the husbandry manuals,
yeah,
but I do enough reading in school every day. I can't really be bothered. But yeah, that's the Amazon house. And now we just have the outer area of the Jaguar left. And this one I built, and you actually said when I first showed it off, like the fence or the
Mhm.
was a lot. God, English at 1 a.m. in the morning is hard. The window was a lot shorter at first, and I was like, yeah, this looks good. But then I think you said, nope, that's way too short. And I was like,
Um,
nope, that's way too short.
I don't
Um,
remember. That seems like something I'd point out.
yeah, it was like 2 months ago, I think. But I remember when you said it, I was like, "Ah, man, do I really care?" And I went in like, yeah, I do care, and I changed it. So I had to like redo all the far rock, so it
Mm.
looked good. But I'm happy with how it turned out, and that's why I'm on Bro Nation. So even though you get a lot of criticism, it's for the best.
Mhm.
And here you can see one of the habitats I had to redo when I did find the eelgrass the other day. I'm so happy with how it turned out.
Oh yeah.
No jaguars in here though. I think they're
Then
indoors.
then also the logs.
Oh yeah, yep, you got it.
The
That's a
Wyatt
Wyatt
Andrews
log.
path.
Exactly. It's a Wyatt log.
The Wyatt log.
No innuendo intended. Um, cut that part out. Go to sleep, kids. And yeah, I actually want to show off the tiger habitat that I've done too. So let's exit out of Tajid camp for a second, and let's go over to the Indian area. Um, this I have showed off in an earlier video. Wow, that's a lot of lag. But yeah, I just had to redo the tiger area once I found the eelgrass. And
Mm.
like we talked about this on Bro Nation, that like tall grass isn't very realistic in large cat habitats, which I agree
Mm.
with. But once again, this is based of Kolmorden, and they have four tigers in this size of habitat, which seems
Yeah.
cramped, but they make it work. And it's very lush. Like they have tall grasses, like bushes. They have the iconic paths that I've tried to recreate.
Yeah.
Um, but it is
I feel like
very
you
lush.
I feel like you can be as lush as you want as long as you have like those like paths where they pace frequently.
Yeah. And here you can see I have way too many tigers right now because because they all wanted to have kids. Um, but yeah, no, I agree. And I especially with Bengal tigers, like they live in very lush and grassy areas. So I kind of wanted it
Mhm.
to be like you have to walk, like look through the bushes and through the grass to even see them.
Yeah.
If I was doing like a Siberian or a Mur tiger habitat, I would probably a lot more bear.
Mm.
Since this is like the Indian tiger, I'm really happy with it, how this turned out. I still hate the interior of this. Whoops! Still hate the interiors of this viewing area, but like I don't know what to add to these flat areas to make it look better.
I think
So I might
I
just,
actually really love the simplicity of this one.
yeah, I wanted it to be simple, and this is probably a part where I don't think I succeeded as well. Um, so like I said, simplicity is the most, like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
So I don't want to overdo it, but this like flat concrete looks so boring. So I don't know. I think I'll probably leave it for now. Um,
I, I think like how it would improve it, but I'm not sure.
yeah, I really don't want to do. No, I really don't know what to do. But yeah, that's it. Holy shit, been recording for an hour now. Time flies. Um, that's all I wanted to show off. Thank you for joining me. It's a lot easier to talk to someone when I'm showing off stuff than to just talk
No
to
problem.
a mic. And yeah, I'll link your YouTube in the description, but I'm sure that everyone who watches me have already seen your stuff. If you haven't, go check out Wyatt Andrews, or Wyatt Andrews Workshop, I should say. I draw a lot of inspiration from your stuff, as you can see, and hopefully I can inspire you a little too.
Oh yeah, the feeling is really mutual. I steal from you all the time.
That's kind of why I asked you, because we have pretty similar styles. But yeah, thank you for watching. Do all the YouTube stuff. You know what to do. And yeah, thanks. Bye.